Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. We have a jewel here today. I'm telling you, we have Latoya Kim, and she's from Whalers Creation. And this is a subject that we've never had on this show before. We're dealing with foster adopted youth, arts, and media training. This is unique. So whatever you're doing, you better stop because it affects you or someone in your family somewhere. Welcome, Latoya. I tell you, it's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, Ed. I'm so excited to be here.
So am I. Just, the wait that we had, we won't tell the people what happened, but
Don't give them the
anyway,
background story.
don't give them a background story, but it was worth the wait because
you.
the subject matter here is dynamic. We are dealing with the young people and underprivileged young people.
Yes.
That's the main thing. Just tell us about this Whalers Creation. You said you have 3 points there. You're dealing with performing arts, media arts, and culinary arts.
Yes, we are. We have a tendency to say that we love the arts, which is evident in our programs. Well, I want to tell you a little bit about how I got started and why I decided to go into this field.
Take your time.
Yeah, I was working in Alaska. I went to graduate school in Alaska and met this, I was working in an admissions office one day while I was in school. And this young lady walked into my office to go to school, and she had this phenomenal appearance. She was just beautiful. And so I was excited to be able to help her go and get enrolled in school. We started to do the paperwork, and I asked her to give me a copy of her high school diploma or her GED. Well, you and I know that you need to have one of those to go to school.
Right.
She didn't have one. And so I just asked her if she would be willing to let me help her work towards getting her GED. And so we did. So I was working with her to get her GED, and as I'm working with her and getting to know her really, really well over a period of time, she starts to unveil a lot of stuff to me, and why she didn't have a high school diploma and why she dropped out of school. And what I found out was that she was a homeless youth living on the streets of Alaska.
No kidding.
Well, I don't have to tell you that the streets of Alaska is pretty cold.
Hey.
And so with a young person who looked so together, was choosing to live, and for me, it was like a choice. Choosing to live on the streets of Alaska had to been something pretty surreal to make that happen. So my background is journalism. I was in school in the PR area, and so I asked her if I could, if she minds sharing a little bit more about her story, and she did. And she shared with me that she was a foster youth that had ran away from her foster home placement. She had ran away because of the abuse that she was enduring. And she had much rather live on the streets of Alaska than to live in the system that bounced her around from home to home, and being abused in these various foster homes. And with that said, I was just really, really upset, and wanted to do her story, and as I'm writing her story, I found out that there were other kids who were living in a bus depot in Alaska, like the Greyhound, the Trailway bus stations. And I couldn't believe that. So I got their permission to do a story on these young people, started digging a little bit, finding a little bit more information, and came to find out that a lot of kids who chose to live on the streets were kids who had ran away from foster homes. I mean, they were from other places too. They were from traditional homes, but I was just shocked that kids who were placed in a foster care system would leave a nourishing, caring environment, supposedly.
Right.
Because I was so upset, we started connecting young people with various resources and services in the community. And we started an organization that was called CRYS, C-R-Y-S, for Community Referral and Youth Services. And we started connecting these kids with services and just trying to help them get their lives together, employment, housing, any other resources they needed in the community, clothes, food, anything. Basic things.
Right.
And so then I left Alaska, moved to Wisconsin after a period of time, and started working for the Urban League. And as I was working for the Urban League, I started a mentoring program. And in this mentoring program, I ended up mentoring two youth, two sisters. And they ended up being placed in the foster care system. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 they can't go in the foster care system. The foster care system is bad because of my experience with my kids in Alaska. And so I was gun-ho, strong advocate, it can't happen. No, crying at night, just really, really restless, really concerned about my kids being okay. And they told me in order for me to have these girls who I love so much to come live with me, I had to become a foster parent. So I was a newlywed, but I convinced my husband for us to become foster parents. So we became foster parents for the sake of my two girls who had gone into care. And we had to advocate for everything for them. It was always a constant battle, ensuring that all of their rights were protected, and ensuring that they got the just everything. It was always a constant battle for them. And so when we left Wisconsin and moved to the D.C. area, I just had a longing to be back in foster care. We moved here because of a job transfer, and so I just had a longing to go back to being a part of the foster care system because I loved it so much.
Right.
And so I became a foster parent here in the D.C. area, and still felt like I needed to do more than just being a foster parent, although that's a wonderful job. And what I found out was that there were lots of loving foster parents. There are, some foster parents that there are some concerns about, but for the most part, they are small and few in between.
Right.
The majority of the foster parents are loving, caring, nourishing homes and families. And so I felt a yearning to go back. But I also felt like I needed to do more. So I decided to stop being a foster parent and to start my organization so that I could reach more kids and help more kids. And I started the organization, or the name Whalers came to me when I was living in Alaska.
Right.
Many years ago.
Associated with the whales.
Yeah,
huh?
no, you would think so. You would think so. I could totally see the resemblance of whatever. But no, the name Whalers came to me because I always wanted to start my own business. I come from a household of two parents that owned their own businesses. I was brought up in two parents who were entrepreneurs. And so I had a longing to be an entrepreneur. So I was just thinking of names. I wanted to start a business. So I created the name Whalers a long, long time ago. And I did it as a tribute to people who were so influential in my life and who were so positive in my life and who showed me how to care for other people and who taught me about right and wrong and who cared and who gave so much to others and who put family first every single day of my life. And they were my parents and my grandparents. And Whalers are the initials of my parents and grandparents.
Oh, that's very unique. Very unique.
Yes.
Is having something like that, and what you're doing, you're encouraging young people into the business world. That's another thing that's very important.
Yes.
We talk about the political system and things of that nature, but getting the young people involved in the business world. I was talking off camera there with couple of technicians there, and we were speaking about, they have these job training, and they have these different career development. And I said, I wonder, most of the career development that I find in this area is military. They have it at the community college, university. It is saturated with military. But I said, where are the Fortune 500 companies, like DuPont, et cetera, to encourage. And this is what you're doing. You're encouraging the young people by showing them to get involved into the business world of this country.
Absolutely.
And that is the future.
It is the future.
That
they are our
is the
future.
future.
Yeah.
9 to 5. When I was coming up, you know, there was accepted. You get a government job, and you know that type of thing. But the idea, and you really are portraying this. The idea is to get young people into the business world.
Get them into the business world.
Yes.
And I do it through the arts.
Yes.
Right. As I said before, my background is in the arts. You know, we have 3 unique programs that I consider to be unique.
Tell us a little bit. You can start with the performing arts or media. Which one you want to start?
I'll start with how we got started.
Okay.
The organization started with History on Stage. And History on Stage is a performing arts program where our kids learn how to write and develop scripts. And and they, when they're creating these plays, we incorporate American history into all of our performances.
All American history.
American history. We do American history. We don't do world history.
Right.
And our plays are based on true stories, and whatever's going on in that person's life, we also incorporate what was going on in America during that time.
Exactly.
So that's the American history.
Right.
And so our kids perform twice a year. They do 2 plays a year. And you know, it's literary training because they're sharpening their writing skills. They are
fantastic.
Their communication skills, their performing skills, because you know our kids do everything. They sing, they dance, they are comedians. They're learning how to operate cameras, video cameras. They are learning how to work on sound. I met a fantastic person today, one of your technicians, that I'm hoping that we'll make a connection with who is a sound person.
Right.
So our kids learn to do all of those things. So that's History on Stage. Another program that we have is called Just Like Me. And Just Like Me is our media side, is our journalism side. Our kids get an opportunity to create and develop a magazine, and our magazine is called Just Like Me.
Right.
And you know, we're on Capitol Hill. We're covering stories there.
Good.
We're in this.
You give them that exposure.
Absolutely.
And you can't beat that.
Absolutely.
You know, getting that actual, what they call it, on the job training.
It's on the job training.
Right.
Yeah, we have. A lot of times when we're on Capitol Hill, you know, we're a small group. And you have CNN and ABC and all the big networks there with their big cameras and reporters, and you have this little group there with our little camera, and people are looking like, who is this?
What are they doing here?
So our kids are being
examine their press pass. Huh? I've had that occur with me. I've showed up, you know, being a minority. You know, they wonder, well, what am I doing here? You know, I show up with my camera, just like I was telling a technician there about the camera, and they wonder, you know, I can tell, you know, who is this guy here? You know,
yes, we get that. So we
he's not from a big network.
No. But our kids are exposed to the big networks, you know, because they're in the arena with them.
Right. Exactly.
And we cover fashion shows. We're having a fashion show coming up pretty soon. Our kids cover any kind of, you know, celebrities. If there's a celebrity coming in town, you know, if we are able to get an opportunity to go interview them, they do. Even local celebrities, anything that's going on legislatively, community-based. If it's anything dealing with foster care at all, we try to make sure that we cover those stories. And then absolutely, we cover successful, we try to interview successful foster youth, former foster youth that's gone through the foster care system that became successful at whatever their profession is. And so that's usually the person that's on the cover of our magazine.
Is that right? Oh,
and then, so that one is really, really exciting for me. And so we're always looking for people to support that in particular, because we reach out to the community, asking
contacts, along the line, the political line, and everything. Yes,
everything.
Right. Just show them how the system works. You know, right?
Yes.
Really, and that's, you know, even have seminars, things of that nature.
Yeah, and we're always looking for speakers. We're always looking for people to come in and do a class, do a workshop, do a seminar with our kids. Absolutely.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And then our last exciting program is called, and it just was started a
culinary.
year ago.
Wow.
It's the culinary side.
Makes me hungry.
Wait until you taste some of their food.
Is that right?
Our kids are trained by professional chefs.
Is that right?
Our chefs are experts in the community. We have chefs that work with pastries, the pastry chefs that talks about gluten-free foods, preparing gluten-free breads and pies and desserts.
Yes.
We have a nutritionist working with our kids, teaching them about nutrition and how to prepare healthier meals. We have a chef that specializes in I guess what the stores are called ethnic foods. We do, our kids are learning how to do different types of German dishes, Indian dishes. As a matter of fact, we have an Indian chef that comes in and is teaching our kids how to make authentic Indian dishes.
Right.
Asian food, of course, American food, soul food,
Yeah,
everything,
everything, the whole bit.
pies, desserts, cookies,
Yeah.
all of it.
Well, they have an organization called the Job Corps. Have you heard of that?
Absolutely.
Okay, Job Corps, I've had a number of the youngsters on and everything, and one of them majored in culinary arts.
Yes.
And what he did was just fantastic.
Did he give you a demonstration?
Yeah, he gave us. In fact, we had him here on the show,
Yes,
and
yes.
they actually fixed the food and everything right here.
Man.
So it was a fantastic demonstration.
Was it good
of,
food?
Yes, of what the youth. And what he did is that, you know, generally when you go on these cruises, the chefs and everything, most of the chefs, they like to be stationary.
Right.
But what happened is that he got involved with the culinary part of these cruises, and what happened is that he had a vision to start his own business.
Yes.
So what he did, he went on these cruises, and naturally he had his everything paid for, and he saved in 1 year. He saved $40,000, and he started his own business. Can you believe that?
Fantastic! Oh,
he learned his culinary arts.
He's an inspiration through Job Corps.
Yeah. But what he did a whole year.
He was focused.
Yes, he was
focused and determined.
And that was just fantastic.
Yeah, that's a winning recipe. That's a winning recipe.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that we try to instill in our kids is that, you know, whatever dream, and I always tell my kids I'm their biggest cheerleader because you have a lot of people, especially when kids have a dream of becoming a basketball player or dreams of becoming a superstar singer or a fantastic dancer. You have people telling them, well, you know, it's so many people in that field, you know, to get that second job.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I definitely encourage our young people to have that background or that backup, but I also tell them to follow your dreams because just like every successful individual out here, regardless as to what profession it is, they are successful in that field because they made the decision to be successful.
That's it.
And everybody have naysayers.
Yeah.
We all have people that tell us, don't do that. You know, I have people that tell me, you're not gonna ever finish college. You know, you got this little boyfriend to the side. You guys are gonna get married. You're gonna have a bunch of babies and do that. Well, that didn't happen because you can't predict my future. Only I can do that.
Right. That's it. And what happens is that the environment that these youngsters actually come from, adopted, you know, it's not a typical. So it's a lot of trauma in their lives from the beginning.
Yes.
And then having an organization like this to set things aside like you've done with these 3 different programs.
Yes.
You know, this gives them hope.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And,
yes, definitely.
This is so very important. Some youngsters that have much more than what the adopted kid don't have,
Right.
you know, are not successful because they don't have that drive and they don't understand that that's what it takes. For instance, like in my situation, what I did with my grandkids, I told them, I said, look, I want you to draw up a business and draw up a business plan and have it. I want you to do the research. You play with those computers, you do all that. I want to do something basic. Go pick out any field that you want to go into. then do the research on it.
Okay.
Find out what it takes in order to be successful, and then draw up a business plan.
Yes.
How many young people know how to draw up a business
Very
plan?
few.
If you're going to get into the business world, you have to know how a business plan works. You have ups and downs, and you have things that take care of the downs. You know, when those things happen, because it's more in business. Anyone will tell you, in business, is more downs than up.
Right.
So if you're going to be successful, you can't let one thing discourage you from continuing, because you're going to have people don't understand. Success doesn't come easy. You have to
tell my kids
sacrifice
all the time.
You have to sacrifice something. Possibly, maybe your friends.
Yeah.
You know, if they're not going the route that you want to go, hey, see you later, baby.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the idea, is that you had to set your goals. And this program here, I was just astounded when you're dealing with the foster and adopted youngsters, which have additional problems other than what the normal teenager has their, and these are basic problems, you know, like places to live.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Housing is a big issue.
You know, being loved. You know what I mean? Sure that you're being loved, or you're just a meal ticket for somebody.
Exactly.
You see, the truth of the matter, this is what these youngsters look, and you are actually getting involved in something like this. This is just terrific.
Oh, thank you.
Just having you on the program, and let the people out there know what your organization is doing.
I appreciate this opportunity. Absolutely.
This is positive, and we need more. And thinking of needing more, I'm thinking of volunteers. What about volunteers for your program?
Oh, I need all kinds of volunteers.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, we need volunteers. We need volunteers. Media arts, performing arts, culinary arts, chefs, writers, financial individuals. We need board members.
Right.
Yes, we need it all. So if this sounds like a program that you would be interested in reaching out to, we definitely invite you to give us a call and help us help these kids.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this commitment right on the air. Okay. I want to be part of your board.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
That's right. I want to be one of the sponsors, because it's something that I feel is so very necessary.
It is very necessary.
And the evolutionary elders, I'm going to introduce your program to Dr. Williams and a few other people.
Fantastic.
Because this is what they're about too. Wow. They're about actually building that bridge between the young people and the evolutionary elders.
Yes.
You know, give them something positive to do other than go home and cut grass and sit around and watch TV, because there's a wealth of knowledge in the evolutionary elders.
Wow.
They are retired professionals.
I am so excited.
And they have the time.
I am so excited.
That's it. So I'm making that commitment for them and for myself to be on that board, because I think this is something.
You're going to make me want to shout.
All of us want.
I'm going to sit here and retain myself, though.
No, but because this is needed. This is something that you have developed here, and it's tough.
Yes,
it's tough.
It's very tough.
I know it's tough.
It's very, very tough.
It's not easy, you know, and that getting people out there to volunteer. Here's an opportunity for you to do something positive. Join us. That's what I'm making that appeal from the Ed Brown Show, for you to join us. Join us in working for the future. Yes. And basically, that's what you're doing.
Absolutely, yes.
You're solidifying the future.
Thank you.
And we need more of this. See, we really do. We have wasted talent.
Wasted talent.
Yes. And we're not passing it on. You know, just like it was a group that Dr. Williams and Dr. Dula, we went to one of the programs that they had, and I told all of them the winner of making a business plan and presenting it will be on my show.
Wow.
So
So who was the winner?
They
It's still
they have to
okay.
the summer.
Okay.
At the end of the summer, we're going to determine that. And these are young people that they're very educated. They can do anything with a
Right.
computer.
Right. Right.
You asked about a computer. But what I want to do is really thank you. And
I thank you.
And it was worth the wait
I
to
thank
have
you.
you on the
Thank
show.
you. Thank
I think
you.
you're bringing something that all of us need to get involved in. Okay?
Wow.
So we'll see you next time because we're going to have you back on here giving us a report
I'm excited.
on this organization
Thank you.
and what we can do to help. Okay?
Fantastic.
Okay, this has been Ed Brown. See you next time. Don't forget, volunteer for something. I mean, do something other than watch TV. See you next time.